All right, so here we are, Chapter 5 test review in college algebra. All right, we're going to start with number 1 here. We'll work our way through. All right, use elimination to solve this. All right, and what I like on this, I've got a negative and a positive. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 2 up here and multiply to that top one. I'm going to take 3 down here and multiply it to the bottom one. Not negative 3, just 3. That way my signs will stay opposites. So when I do that, 2 times 4x is 8x. 2 times negative 3y is negative 6y. 2 times 38 is 76. Then 3 times these, 3 times 5x is 15x. 3 times 2y is positive 6y. And then 3 times 36 is that 108, I think. Yep, 108. And there you go. See my opposites here? So all I need to do is add these. Okay, so when I add them, this right here is 23x. This right here eliminates. This right here, that's going to be 184. So divide both sides by 23. Let's see here. 184 divided by 23 is 8. X equals 8. All right, so now I got to find y, so I'll just come back here and I'll put 8 in for x right there. So 4 times 8 would be 32. We're right over here, 32. Minus 3y equals 38. Okay, so I'm going to minus 32. That means negative 3y equals, what is that, 6? And then divide by negative 3. And there you go, negative 2. So there's my solution, 8, negative 2 right there. We got it. Okay. All right, this one here says use elimination to solve it. Okay, so again, I got opposites right here in this column. So I'm going to do the same thing I just did. I'm going to multiply 2 to this top one, and I'll do 9 to the bottom one. Okay, so that's my plan here. All right, so 2 times 2x would be 4x. 2 times negative 9y would be negative 18y. 2 times 67 would be, was that 14,134? And then 2 times 0 is 0. Okay. Then 9 times these, 9 times 9x is 81x. 9 times 2y is 18y. 9 times negative 81 is negative 729. And then 9 times 0 is 0. All right, so I did 9 times all those, and there we go. And now look at my y's, they're opposites. So all I need to do is I need to add these together. So 4 plus 81 is 85x. That's what I get when I add these. These eliminate. Let me do this real quick on the calculator. 134 plus negative 729. That's negative 595. And this is 0. So I'll add 595 on both sides. That means 85x equals 595, and then divide by 85. And let's see here. 595, oops, divide by 85, 7. So here we go, x is 7. So I'm going to take 7, put it right at the top. 2 times 7 would be 14. 14 plus 67 would be 91. So negative 9y. Did I do that right? 2 times 7 is 14. 67 would be 81. Yeah. Plus 81 equals 0. So minus 81. So negative 9y equals negative 81. Divide by negative 9. And I get 9. So 7 and 9. And there you go. We got the right answer. Okay. Solve this one analytically. Okay. First thing you do on these is make sure there is answers here, because see if there's a multiplier. Like I don't see a multiplier for these. Like if I do 3 times x, I get 3x. 3 times y would not be negative 2y. So if I do x times 5, I get 5x. 5 times y would be 5y, not negative 2y. So In other words, there's not one that's a multiplier of another one. So if you have a multiplier of one equals another one, then it could be no solution, or all numbers are solutions. But I think we're good here to solve it. So let me get a piece of paper here. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this one right here, I'm gonna pair it up with that one first, because I got 3 variables, I need to get it down to 2 variables. So what I'll do is I'll do 5 times this one, and then I'll pair it with that one. So I got the top one. Okay, there's the top one. So now 5 times this one would be 5x minus 5y plus 20z equals 85. When I do 5 times all those. And now what I need to do is subtract these. All right, so 5 minus 5 would eliminate. Negative 2 minus 5, negative 2 minus negative 5 would be 3y. 5 minus 20 would be negative 15z. And then 37 minus 8, 85. 48. Let me do this real quick. I better make sure. Yep, 48. And then there you go. There's one equation with 2 variables. So we're going to hold on to him. Okay, now at the same time here, see my equation right here? Okay, I'm going to take this middle one. Okay, so this is 3x minus 2y minus 2z equals negative 10. And now this time I'll do 3 times this bottom one. So 3 times x will be 3x, 3 times negative y will be negative 3y, 3 times 4z is 12z, and then 3 times 17, is that 51? Okay, and now see my x's match, so I'm just going to subtract them again. All right, so that gives me 3 minus 3 eliminates. Negative 2 minus negative 3 would be 1y. Negative 2z minus 12z would be negative 14z. And then negative 10 minus 51 would be negative 61. And there you go. There's another equation with just 2 variables. So now I could take these 2 equations and solve them for x, for y, and z. So I think what I'm going to do here, as I have these down, I'm just going to do this times 3, so that way these will match. Okay. And so that gives me 3y minus 42z equals, and then that's negative 183. Okay, when I do 3 times all that one, and now I'll write this one down here below. Okay, 3y minus 15z equals 48. And there you go. Now I can subtract these, and then that should solve my variables for me. 3 minus 3 goes away. Negative 42 minus negative 15 would be negative 27z. Okay. And then negative 183 minus 48 would be negative 231. So divide by negative 27. All right, so negative 231 divided by negative 27. Oh, this calculator's battery's in bad. Negative 231 divided by negative 27. Oh man, we made a mistake. Okay. Well, darn it. Got to go back through here and see where we made our mistake. I was in a hurry, and all right, so I did 5 times this. We'll go back to the beginning here. I hate making mistakes. So I have 5x, negative 5y, 20z, 85. And then I'll subtract those. So 5 minus 5 eliminates. Negative 2 minus negative 5 would be 3y. Negative 15z. Oh, this is negative 48. Yep, 37 minus 85 is negative 48. So that's probably my mistake right there. So negative 183 plus 48. You probably saw that when I did it, didn't you? There we go. So this right here should be negative 135. And when I divide by negative 7, I get z is 5. Okay. You gotta be careful, man. I did this in my head a while ago and I had to put the negative down. Okay, so I put the negative back in here and then this comes out to be z is 5. All right, now since z is 5, I'm gonna go right in here. And if I put 5 in for z, 14 times 5 is 70. So I have y minus 70 equals negative 61. So I'm going to add 70, and that's 9. There you go, y is 9. Okay? And now I got y and z, so I'm going to go back to one of my original equations up here to figure out what x is. So I'll tell you what. Let's go back into this one right here. So x, I don't know. Minus y, we said y was 9. Plus 4 times z, we said z was 5, equals 17. Okay, I'll get it on the screen there. And let's see that here. X, 4 times 5 is 20. Minus 9 would be 11. And then minus 11, 6. X is 6. So x was 6, y was 9, and z was 5. And look here, we got them. Got them right. All right. Good deal. You know, I got this button here. Nailed it.
Nailed it!
I nailed it. Okay. Okay. All right, here's another one. Solve this system. Okay, so there's no option for it to have no solution, so we'll just go on. So what I like on this one is, see how this has a z right there? Okay, so that means I can multiply it by 5 and eliminate this one. Then I can multiply it by 2 and it would eliminate down here on that one. So that's my plan, my strategy. So if I multiply it by 5, let's do that first, okay? So multiply this whole thing times 5 first. So 5 times 2x is 10x. 5 times 4y is 20y. 5 times negative z is negative 5z. And then 5 times 5 over here would be 25. Okay? And now I can write this second equation here. 3x minus 2y plus 5z equals negative 4. And then look here, these are opposites, so I just add them. So 10 plus 3 is 13x. 20 plus negative 2 would be 18y. Negative 5 plus positive 5 eliminates. And then 25 plus negative 4 is 21. And there you go. There's an equation with just x and y. Okay? Now I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to multiply it by 2 now. So eliminate this one. All right, so 2 times 2x. All right, so 2 times 2x is 4x. 2 times 4y is 8y. 2 times negative z is negative 2z. 2 times 5 is 10. And then I'll write this one down. Okay, and these are the same, so that means I need to subtract them. Okay, so 4 minus 7 is negative 3x. 8 minus 6 would be 2y. Negative 2z minus negative 2z eliminates. And then 10 minus 11 is negative 1. And there you go. There's my 2 equations with just 2 variables. Okay. Now, I think the easiest way to go here is, since this is a 2y, I can multiply it by 9 to make it equal 18 there. So I'm going to multiply this by 9. So 9 times negative 3 is negative 27x. 9 times 2y is 18y. 9 times negative 1 is negative 9. Okay, and then I'll write this one down here with it. And since these are the same, I'm going to subtract. So let's draw a line here and subtract. So negative 27 minus 13 would be negative 40x. 18 minus 18 eliminates. And then negative 9 minus 21 is negative 30. and then divide both sides by -40, and I get 3/4. So x is 3/4. Now I just cheated and looked here, 3/4 is what x is, so I'm in good shape. All right, now I need to take that 3/4 and put it back in here for x right there to figure out what y would be. So I'm going to do that over here. -3 times 3/4 plus 2y equals -1. Okay, this is -9/4 plus 2y equals -1. So I'm going to add 9/4. And so 2y equals, this is -4/4, so it's going to be 5/4. And then we'll divide by 2, which means that's 5/8. Okay, you just use your calculator. I did it all without a calculator, but now I can take both x and y now, and I can put it in one of these original equations to figure out what the z is. So let's go with this one right here. Okay, 2 times x, I said x was 3/4, plus 4 times y, y was 5/8, minus z equals 5. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and punch this in the calculator to see what that is. So 2 times 3/4 plus 4 times 5/8 is 4. How about that? So 4 minus z is 5, so I'm going to minus 4. Negative z is 1, which means z equals -1. And so here we go, man. We got the answers right. Okay. All right, then number 6. Number 6 says an investment of $98,000 was made by a business club. The investment was split into 3 parts and lasted for 1 year. The first part of the investment earned 8%, the second 6%, and the third 9%. The total interest from the investments was $7,620. The interest from the first investment was 6 times the interest from the second. Find the amounts of the 3 parts of the investment. All right, so it was $98,000 total. So let's just say we have investment A, investment B, investment C. All right, so if I add these 3 together, it should equal $98,000. So there's one equation. Okay. Now the next one comes by the interest. So 0.08 times A plus 0.06 times B plus 0.09 times C is going to be my total interest, which it says here is $7,620. And then my third equation comes from this right here. The interest from the first investment was 6 times the interest from the second. So the interest from the first investment right here is 0.08A is 6 times the interest from the second. So that's going to equal 6 times the second, which was 0.06B. And then here's my 3 equations. When you have 3 variables, you have to have 3 equations. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Okay? All right, so I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to divide both sides by 0.08 on this equation. So I get A equals this in terms of B. So if I do 6 times 0.06 and then divide by 0.08, 6 times 0.06 divided by 0.08, I get 4.5. Okay. Now, what does that mean? Well, I can take it and plug this in for A up here in these 2 equations, and then that'll knock the A out and give me just 2 variables, which is what I want to do. So right here I got 4.5B coming in for A. Okay. And right here I got 4.5B coming in for A there. So since A equals this, I put that in for A. And now 4.5b plus another b is 5.5b plus c equals 98,000. And then 0.08 times 4.5 is 0.36 plus 0.06 is 0.42b. So 0.42b plus 0.09c is 7620. And there you go, there's my two variable system. And I think what to do here would be best if I just multiply this top one by 0.09 so these two will match. Okay, so I'll just do that. I'll leave this one here. I'm going to do 0.09 times it and just write it down there below it. Okay, so 0.09 times 5.5 is 0.495b plus 0.09c. I do 0.09 times that, and then 0.09 times this one. 0.09 times 98,000. That's 8820. Okay, and now these match. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take those two equations and subtract them. Okay, which means I got 0.42 minus 0.495 is negative 0.075b. 0.09 minus 0.09 eliminates. And then 7620 minus 8820. That's going to be, what is that, 1200? Negative 1200? 7620 minus 8820. Yeah, negative 1200. And I'm going to divide both sides by negative 0.075. And B is going to be 16,000. Okay. Now we take 16,000 and put it up here for B and figure out what C is. All right. So tell you what, let's just come this way. I'm going to put 16,000 for B right there. So 5.5 times 16,000 right there. 5.5 times 16,000 is 88,000. So I'm going to write this over here. 88,000 plus C equals 98,000. Okay, well I think that means C is going to be 10,000 minus 88,000. There you go, there's C. And now what is A? All right, I'm going to go back to this original thing here. Okay, I don't know A, but I know B. We just figured that up. That's 16,000. This was 10,000. So 16,000 plus 10,000 is 26,000. So that means A plus 26,000 equals 98,000. And so I minus 26,000. And that's going to be 72,000. And there we go. We got every one of them. We got every one of them. Okay, so I went kind of fast on that. You might pause and rewind, you know, go back and watch it again. Pause over things maybe you didn't understand and went kind of quick on. Because I'm at 24 minutes already, and that's just the fifth problem. There's 38. So I got to kind of hurry. This says write an augmented matrix. Okay. Now, when I do this, I need to subtract 6 to get this over here. I need to add 5, get it over here. Subtract 2, get it over here. Because these need to be on this side of the equals. All right, so it means my augmented matrix, I got a 9x, a negative 5y, and a 1z, and then I got a negative 6 over here. This one I got a 9x, a negative 4y, and a 6z, and then I got a 5 here. On this one, there is no x. I've got an 8y, and I got a negative 5z, and then a negative 2. And that's my augmented matrix. Now, what's the size of this? All right, it's RC cola. So I've got 1, 2, I got 3 rows. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 columns. There you go, 3 by 4. It's RC cola. Okay. All right, the system of equations associated with this given augmented matrix. All right, so this means I got 3x, 2y, 1z, and it equals 3. It ain't that one. All right, it could be this one right here. 3x, 2y, 1z, 3. Now look at the next one. I got no x, 4y, 6z, 24. That looks good. And then I got negative 1x plus 4y, 2z, 13. There's my answer right there, C. That's what it said. This says use Gauss-Jordan Method to solve this system of equations. Okay. Now, get a sheet of paper here. Gauss-Jordan means I'm going to write this as a matrix. So I've got an augmented matrix. 1, 1, negative 3, negative 19. I've got a 3, a negative 3, a 2, and a 5. I've got a 1, a 3, a negative 3, and negative 25. So there's my augmented matrix from this. Okay, pause if you need to look at it there. Okay, 1, 3, 1, 1, negative 3, 3, negative 3, 2, negative 3, negative 19, 5, negative 25. We're good. Okay, so when you do Gauss-Jordan, you want to get the identity matrix going down the diagonal here, and then these are going to be your answers over here. See, that's what you're going to do. You're going to get it to look like this. All right, which means I got my 1 in place. You got to do your 1s first. You have to start with this first column. That's a 1. Now this should be a 0. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 3 times this row. I'm going to write it down here. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times negative 3 is negative 9. 3 times negative 19 is negative 57. And now I'll subtract these two right here. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is write my matrix. I've got the 1, 1, negative 3, and negative 19. This first row is good because it's got a 1 here in that column. But that needs to be a 0, so now I've did 3 times all these, and now I'm going to subtract these two. So 3 minus 3 is 0. Negative 3 minus 3 is negative 6. 2 minus negative 9 would be 11. And then 5 minus negative 57 would be 62. Okay. Now, this time, let's change colors here. Go purple. This 1 down here needs to be a 0. So I'm just going to subtract these. 1 minus 1 would be 0. Okay. 1 minus 3 would be negative 2. 3 minus negative 3 would be 0. Negative 19 minus negative 25 would be 6. There you go. And see, my column here is right, like it should be. Okay. Now, I got to go to the next column, and I got to get those in place. And remember, it's got to look like this. So I need to get this to be a 1. All right, well, the only thing to do is divide. That's got to be a 1. So I got to divide everything by negative 6. So it's a 1. When you get your 1s in place, you do multiplying and dividing. To get the 0s in place, you got to do add and subtracting. So that means now, okay, I'm going to write down here. Let's move this thing up a little bit. So I'm going to divide all these by negative 6. So 0 divided by negative 6 is 0. Negative 6 divided by negative 6 is 1. 11 divided by negative 6 is negative 11 over 6. 62 divided by negative 6 is negative 31 over 3. All right, so that's my middle row. Now I can use it to get these right here. See, these are here have to be 0s. These two right here have to be 0s. All right, so this one here, since that's a 1 now, I can just subtract these. All right, so 1 minus 0 is still 1. 1 minus 1 would be 0. Negative 3 minus negative 11 thirds would be negative 7. Oh, no, wait a minute. Negative 11 sixths. I said 11 thirds. this is going to be negative 18 sixes, so negative 7 6. And then negative 19 minus negative 31 thirds. I better punch this in because I don't want to get this wrong. Negative 19 minus negative 31 thirds. Negative 26 over 3. Okay. Now I need a 0 down here. This is a negative 2. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take 2 times this row. Okay, I'm going to write it right here in the middle. And then I'll add these together. So 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times negative 11 thirds is negative 11. I keep saying 6 thirds. It's negative 11 6. So 2 times it would be negative 11 thirds. I think I'm actually doing the answer. This is negative 62 thirds. Just use your calculator for this, and you got to keep it straight. And now, see, I can add these, and that gives me a 0. So 0 plus 0 is 0. See, when I do this row here, or this column, it doesn't mess up the first column. Negative 2 plus 2 would be 0. 0 plus negative 11 thirds is negative 11 thirds. Then 6 plus negative 62 over 3 is a negative 44 over 3. And there you go. We got the first 2 columns done. Now we got to go one more time here. I need this to be a 1 down here. See, it's got to look like this identity here. So to get this number here to be a 1, I divide by negative 11 thirds. Okay, so let's write my... So I'm going to divide all this by negative 11 thirds. So 0 divided by negative 11 thirds is 0 still. 0 divided by negative 11 thirds still 0. Negative 11 thirds divided by negative 11 thirds is 1. And then negative 44 thirds divided by negative 11 thirds would be 4. All right, so that worked out good, didn't it? Now, I could take this one and multiply it by 11 sixths to make that be 0. So I'm going to take 11 sixths times all this row. So 11 sixths times 0 is 0. 11 sixths times 0 is 0. 11 sixths times 1 is 11 sixths. 11 sixths times 4 is 44 over 6. And now I'll take these 2 and add them together right here. I'll circle it. This one and this. So 0 plus 0 would be 0. Okay. Am I doing the right one? 11 6, yeah. 1 plus 0 is 1. Negative 11 6 plus positive 11 6 is 0. And then 31 thirds plus 44 6, negative 31 thirds plus 44 6 is negative 3. There we go. And now I got this one last row here. And if you notice right here, this is a negative 7 6 right there. I need that to be a 0. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here on this one row I got, and let's mark that out. I'm going to do, see, it's negative 7 6 right there. So I'm going to multiply this by 7 6. All right. So maybe I'll write it down to the bottom. 7 6 times 0 is 0. 7 6 times 0 is 0. 7 6 times 1 is 7 6. 7 6 times 4 is 28 6, which is 14 thirds. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this row right here with this one right here. Okay, can you get them both on the screen? I want to add them 2 together, and it goes right there. It kind of bumped into it a little bit right here. So 1 plus 0 is 1. 0 plus 0 is 0. Negative 7 6 plus positive 7 6 is 0. And then negative 26 thirds plus 14 thirds would be negative 12 thirds, which is negative 4. And there you go, man. There's my answer right there. I got the identity matrix, and here's x, here's y, and here's z. Negative 4, negative 3, and positive 4. And There, we got it, man. Right there. We got it. Nailed it. Okay, let's move to 9 here. We're going to do Gauss-Jordan again. To solve this one. Now this has 3 variables, but we've got a bunch of zeros in there, which that might make it a little bit easier doing this. So if I set this up, I've got a 1x, I've got a negative 1y, and I've got 0z, and then I got 6. Then I've got I've got 0x, 1y, negative 1z, and that equals negative 1. Then I have 1x, I have no y, and I have 1z, and that equals negative 1. All right, so here's my augmented matrix. So this first one, we want a 1. We need a 0 there. This needs to be a 0. So these first two, man, I'm just going to write them over because they're fine. I've got 1, negative 1, 0, 6. I've got 0, 1, negative 1, negative 1. These first two are okay, but this one needs to be a 0. So that's real simple. I'll just subtract these two. Okay. So 1 minus 1 would be 0. Negative 1 minus 0 is negative 1. 0 minus 1 is negative 1. 6 minus negative 1 would be 7. And there you go. My first column looks good. Okay. Now I go to this next column. And that's got to be a 1er. So that's perfect, man. This is laid out pretty good. So this middle row is okay. 0, 1, negative 1. And then I got a negative 1. Okay. And perfect here, these need to be zeros, and they're both negative 1. So if I add 1 to negative 1, it'll be 0. So I'm just going to take this middle row and add it to the top one. So 1 plus 0 is 1. Negative 1 plus 1 is 0. 0 plus negative 1 is negative 1. And 6 plus negative 1 is 5. And then this needs to be a 0 down here, so I'll add them two together. So 0 plus 0 is 0. 1 plus negative 1 is 0. Negative 1 plus negative 1 is negative 2. And then 1 plus 7 is 6. So perfect. My first two columns, man, are good to go. Now in this third column, this one down here needs to be a 1. So I'm going to have to divide everything by negative 2. Okay, so 0. Here, just hold on. Let's write it out first. So 0 divided by negative 2 is 0. 0 divided by negative 2 is 0. Negative 2 divided by negative 2 is 1. 6 divided by negative 2 is negative 3. And there you go. There's my bottom row finished. Now these two right here, they need to be zeros. Well, there you go. I got a 1 here. 1 plus negative 1 would be 0. So I'll just add that row with this one, and the same thing on the top. So in the middle here, I'm going to let me circle them so you see what I'm doing. Okay. I'm going to take this row right here, and we'll add it to this row right there. So 0 plus 0 is 0. 1 plus 0 is 1. Negative 1 plus 1 is 0. Negative 1 plus negative 3 is negative 4. And then we'll do the same thing with the top one. We'll add to this one down here. So 1 plus 0 is 1. 0 plus 0 is 0. Negative 1 plus 1 is 0. And then 5 plus negative 3 is 2. And there you go. There's my answer. I got the identity matrix here, and there's my solution. 2, negative 4, negative 3. And look at everybody.
Bro, you nailed it.
I nailed it. All right. Find the value of the determinant. All right, when you find the determinant, you multiply this diagonal. 3 times negative 7 is negative 21. Minus, I multiply this diagonal. 2 times 9 is 18. So negative 21 minus 18 is negative 39. There you go. There's my determinant right there. Find the value of the determinant. All right, so again, I do negative 8 times 1, which is negative 8. Minus, then I do 1 times 0, which is 0. That's just negative 8. All right, find the value of this determinant. All right, let's write it over here. We've got 2, 7, negative 3, 3, 2, 0, 3, 6, 0. Find the determinant here. All right, so when you do this, you got to repeat these first two columns. So I got to do a 2, a 3, and a 3. And I got a 7, a 2, and a 6. Okay? Now, I've got these diagonals going this way. There's 1, 2, 3 diagonals going this way. These are the positive ones. So 2 times 2 times 0 is 0, plus 7 times 0 times 3 is 0, plus negative 3 times 6 is negative 54. So those are the positive, the plus ones going that way. Okay, now in the other direction, I've got a diagonal here, I've got one here, I've got one here. These are the minus ones. So minus negative 3 times 2 times 3 is negative 18. Minus 2 times 0 times 6 is 0. Minus 7 times 3 times 0 is 0. All right, so this is going to be negative 54 minus negative 18. And that looks like negative 36. Look at there.
Knock, knock. Who's there? Nailed it!
Ha! Nailed it, man! Ha! I nailed it. Okay. Number 13. Yeah, we need to get a harder one, man. That one was too easy, wasn't it? So let's get us a harder one. All right, so we got negative 1, negative 3, 9, negative 4, negative 2, 1, 7, 7, 1. All right, there's my determinant I want to find, which means I got to repeat this column here, negative 1, negative 3, 9, negative 4, negative 2, and 1. I got to write those first two columns over, which gives me 3 diagonals going this way. There's 1, 2. Be careful when you circle these that you don't circle through a negative. I've seen people circle like through that negative right there, and they think it's a 3 instead of a negative 3. All right, so this way, negative 1 times negative 2 times 1 would be 2, plus negative 4 times 7 times 9. All right, let's go. Negative 4 times negative 252, plus 7 times negative 3 times 1 is negative 21. Okay. And then minus the ones going this way. So I got to minus this one, and this one. All right, so 7 times negative 2 times 9, that's negative 135. So I'm minusing this, but it's negative 135. Minusing negative 1 times 7 times 1 is negative 7. Minusing 12. I need to put my parenthesis there. Okay, negative 4 times negative 3 times 1 is 12. All right, so let's punch these bad boys in. So let's see here. 2 plus negative 252 and oh man, I'm off. I got negative 141. It's supposed to be negative 150. Oh. Well, first thing we do, look through here and make sure we got the signs right. Okay. All right, I'm good on signs. I got just these 4 that are negatives. Okay. Well, gosh. Let me punch it again. Just make sure 2, 252, 21, 135, then 7, and then 12. Yeah, I got negative 141. I'm off. I ain't nailed it on this one, have I? All right, so that's going to be 2. That's right. And then negative 28 times 9. Negative 252. That's right. That's negative 21. Right here. All right, then going minus. Let's see. Oh, I must have hit some. Oh, I hit 15. I bet you this should be negative 126. And that should fix it for me. 2 minus 252 minus 21 plus 126 plus 7 minus 12, negative 150. We got it. Yeah, you got to be careful on this, man. And see, I made a mistake there. I just punched in the number wrong when I multiplied on this. And it's easy to do, so you got to be very careful when you do this stuff. 14, find the partial fraction decomposition for the rational expression. Okay. Let me get another piece of paper. All right, so 7x plus 4 over x plus 4 and 4x minus 1. All right, this is going to be some number a, and I'm going to leave a little blank spot right here. It's going to be some number a over the x plus 4 plus, and then we'll move it over a little bit more, leave a blank spot again. It's going to be some number b over this factor, 4x minus 1. Okay? So I need common denominators. So what I do here, top and bottom, I'm going to do 4x minus 1, top and bottom. Right here, I'm going to do top and bottom, x plus 4. Okay? And now look, all my denominators are the same. See that? So I can forget the denominators and just focus on the numerators. So right here I got 7x plus 4 equals, all right, 4x minus 1 times a, so 4x times a is 4ax, negative 1 times a is negative a, and then x times b is xb, or bx, plus 4b. Okay? And now, this x term over here has to equal the x terms over here. So that means 7x equals 4ax plus bx, and I can just leave the x's out and divide them all out. So this means 7 equals 4a plus b. Okay? So I got 7x equals 4ax plus bx. I can leave the x's out, which means I have 7 equals 4a plus b. Okay? And then this 4 right here has to equal negative a plus 4b. And there you go. There's my system. And I think what's easiest here, if I just multiply by 4 here, these will eliminate. So I'm going to multiply this bottom one by 4. Okay. That's going to give me 7 equals 4a plus b. Then 4 times 4 is 16. 4 times negative a is negative 4a. 4 times 4b is 16b. And now see, these are opposites, so I can add them together. 7 plus 16 is 23. Eliminate. And then 1b plus 16b is 17b. Okay? All right. So I divide both sides by 17. 23 over 17 is what b is. Okay? And now I can plug this in up here for b, and I can figure out what a is. So that's what I'm going to do. 7 equals 4a plus 23 over 17. I'll put this in for b. Right there. All right, so I minus 23 over 17. And that goes away, so 4a equals, all right, 7 minus 23 over 17. That's 96 over 17. And then divide by 4. And then that's going to be 24 over 17. Okay, so there's A and B right there. So that means in my answer, okay, I've got A over this, I got B over that. So my A, 24 over 17, so it means I'm going to have 24 over 17, and the 17 is going to be in the bottom with the x plus 4 plus, and then B was 23 over 17, so it means I have 23 over 17, and the 17 is going to be in the bottom with the 4x minus 1, and there's my answer right there. And you can see that's what it is perfectly. So, ha!
Dude, you just nailed it.
I sure did, man. I nailed it. Okay. Right, the partial fraction decomposition here. Now, there's not going to be this many on the test. These are just practice. I think the test is going to be from these problems, though. I'll tell you that much. All right, I need to factor this thing first right here. So let's see, this is going to be, let me put my factors up here. X This is 2 and 5, and this would be plus 5 minus 2. There you go. There's my factors. So this means this right here is going to be some number a over x minus 2 and some number b over x plus 5. Okay. All right, so the heck, I'll just go ahead and, so I need to multiply top and bottom by x plus 5 right here. And I need to multiply top and bottom by x minus 2 here. And now all the denominators match. Which means I can just forget the denominators and focus on the numerators. So I've got x over here equals x plus 5 times a, which means ax plus 5a. And then plus, I got x minus 2 times b, which is bx minus 2b. And there's what I have. And so this x term right here has to equal these x terms over there. So 1x, which is just 1, equals ax, just a, plus bx, and I leave the x's out. Okay, and this constant over here, which there's not one, so that means 0. There's no constant over here, but it equals these two, 5a minus 2b. And there you go, there's my system. So it takes just a few minutes to get this laid out here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply this one by 2, so I have 2b and negative 2b. So that gives me 2 equals 2a plus 2b. Okay. And now I'll just add these together. So 2 plus 0 is 2, 5 plus 5, 2 plus 5 is 7a, and this eliminates, so divide by 7. So there's a. A is 2/7, and then right here, since that's 2/7, that means b is negative 2/7. I just did it in my head real quick. You just use your calculator. So that means, back to what I had here. Oh, wait a minute. I did it wrong. I thought this was a 0 here. That's a 1. So if this is 2/7, this would be 5/7. Okay, because it equals 1. I thought it was a 0. I was looking at it as a 0. Okay, so there you go. There's A and B, which means now A was 2/7. So I'm going to have 2/7 over this, which means I'm going to have the x minus 2 in the bottom with the 7. B is 5/7, which means I'm going to have the 7 down there in the bottom with the x plus 5. And that's my answer. And it looks like what I have right there. Maybe they're backwards, but that's okay. All right, so. Uh-oh.
Oh, nailed it!
I nailed it, man. Okay. Let's go to 16 now. Give the solutions of the nonlinear system of equations here. All right, so let's get some more paper. I think what's best here on this, I'm going to have to do a substitution. Actually, if I just add these together, it's a y and a negative y. If I just add them together, the y's will eliminate, won't they? So I have x squared plus 7x, and the negative y plus y will eliminate. And it equals 0 plus 18, which is 18. And so I just minus 18 on both sides. There you go. And I think this factors. Yeah, it does. So here, x equals negative 9, x equals 2. Okay, now I got to figure out the y value. So if I go back up in here, I put negative 9 in for y, or for x. So like right here, negative 9 squared would be 81 minus y equals 0. So I minus 81. So negative y equals negative 81. So it means y equals 81 for here. So this is negative 9, 81. And if I go back and put 2 in up here for x, so 2 squared would be 4. Let me put right here, 4 minus y equals 0. So minus 4. Negative y equals negative 4. So y is 4. So 2, 4. And these should be my two answers right there. And look at there, bud.
It has been nailed.
17. Okay. All right, y equals this. So I'm going to plug that in for y down there. So I've got 2x minus y, which is x squared plus 7x, equals negative 14. Okay, now I need to distribute that minus on there, so that's going to be 2x minus x squared minus 7x equals negative 14, and then 2x and negative 7x, and let's go ahead and add to 14, bring it over here because it's quadratic. So 2x plus negative 7x be negative 5x. So I got negative x squared minus 5x plus 14 equals 0. And I'm going to change all my signs to make this a positive x squared, and I think this factors. Yep, right there. So x equals 2, x equals negative 7. Okay. Now I got to go back to my original problem here. And since y equals this x squared right here plus 7x, if I put 2 in, 2 squared would be 4, plus 7 times 2 is 14, so 4 plus 14 is 18, so y would be 18 right there. Okay. If I put negative 7 in for x over there, negative 7 squared is 49, plus 7 times negative 7 is negative 49, so 49 plus negative 49 is 0, so y would be 0 here. So it looks like 2, 18, negative 7, 0. Oh, there, man. Ha!
Nailed it.
Okay. Number 18. Okay. Okay, let's see here. I think on this one what would be easiest is if I add a y both sides. X equals negative 3 plus y, or y minus 3. And I'm going to put that in for x up at the top. So I've got 3, and then I got y minus 3 for x right there squared, plus 2y squared equals 11. Okay, so I'm going to square this. Now this is y minus 3 times y minus 3. You need to do the FOIL method here. Okay, so that means I'm going to have y squared minus 6y plus 9. I just did that in my head, but you have to do the FOIL method for this. See there, that's y minus 3 times y minus 3. So you have to do the FOIL method for that, which is this. I did it in my head. Now 3 times all that, 3y squared minus 18y plus 27 plus 2y squared. I'm going to have to minus this 11 and bring over here to set it equals 0. And I'm going to have to put all my stuff together, like terms and everything. See, I minus the 11 to bring it over here, so it could be equal to 0. I did 3 times all these. I got the plus 2y squared. And now 3y squared plus 2y squared is 5y squared. I've got negative 18y. And then 27 plus negative 11 is a plus 16. Okay. And I'm going to do quadratic formula here. X equals negative b plus or minus a square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. All right, my a here is 5. That goes here and here. My b is negative 18. It goes in that one and this one. And then c is 16. It's all the way over there. Okay. So it means x equals, that's a positive 18. Down here, 2 times 5 is 10. And then my radical, I'm going to punch this in. 18 squared minus 4 times 5 times 16. Oh, crap, the calculator's off. That's 4. So inside the radical is 4, so the square root of 4 is 2. So 18 plus 2 is 20. 20 divided by 10 is 2. 18 minus 2 is 16. 16 divided by 10 is 8/5. There's my 2 answers for x. So x is 2, x is 8/5, Now, let's go back to right here. X equals, this was y here, yeah. This is y minus, look here. These are y's. So y is 2, y is 8/5, not x. I just put x here accidentally. This should have been a y. I made a mistake there. These are all y's. So now if I put 2 for y here, 2 minus 3 is -1, so 2 -1 is one answer. And if I put 8/5 in, 8/5 minus 3 is -7/5. Oh, you know what? I got them backwards. I don't know why I'm putting 2 in for y, so 2 should be over here. I put 8/5 in for y. I did it right, but I don't know why I put them in the wrong spots. That's kind of stupid. Anyway, there's my answer right there. I'm not going to hit nailed it because I made a little mistake there. Okay. All right, number 19. Man, we're about halfway. This thing is okay. Number 19, we got a graph one. So I've got this laptop here that we're going to work with. I have a little issue here. Okay. Let's see, I got too much stuff. Move this out of the way. And we're going to graph this thing here. All right, so here we go. All right, so we're going to graph this. This is a parabola. And if you notice right here now, I've got x minus 2, which means the x vertex value is 2, and then there's a y value 4. So 2, 4 is my vertex. All right, so I'm going to graph this thing. Click the graph. It's a parabola, so I click the parabola. And then I'm going to go to 2, 4. 2, 4. Right there's my vertex. I'm going to click it. Okay. Now, there's no negative in front, which means it's going up. And there's no number in front. So that means when I go over 1 here, I'm going to go up 1. And I'm going to do the same thing to the left. So there's my parabola. Okay. Now I got to do a test point, and I like 0, 0 for my test point. Because if I put 0 in for y, 0 for x, it works out real easy. So in doing this, okay. So right here, if I put 0 in for y, it's greater than, and then put 0 in for x, I have this, okay. So that means I've got 0 minus 2 is -2, -2 squared is 4, plus 4 is 8. I've got this right here. Is this true? Is 0 greater than 8? No, it ain't true. It ain't true. So this point right here is false, which means I do not shade outside the parabola. I got to shade inside the parabola. So I'm going to get my little paint thing and put it right there. Okay. What? Okay, what's... Oh, you know what I did? It's not equal to, so my parabola should have been dotted. So, hey, good thing I made that mistake here, so you won't. So we're going to do this over. Because I don't know if I can click this and then make it dotted. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. That should be right. Yeah, sorry about that, man. I'm not going to click nailed it since I made a mistake right there. Okay. All right. Now here's another one we got a graph. So we got a few graphing ones. Yeah, we got a bunch of graphing ones in a row here. All right, so we're going to graph this. Okay, so now easiest thing to do here, and this is real small, I'm sorry, but I've got 10. If I let y be 0, then I got 2x equals 10, so that means x would be 5. So 5, 0 would be, now I got to click the graph, click a line. So 5, 0 is right here. Now if I let x be 0, I have 5y equals 10, which y would be 2. So that'd be right there. And it is a solid line because it's got the equal to line under it. So now, do I shade this side, or which side gets shaded? All right, so I'm going to try my test point there, 0, 0. If I put 0 for x and 0 for y, I get 0 less than 10, which is true. So my 0, 0 is true. So since 0, 0 is true right here, this is the true side that gets shaded. Okay, so I'm done with that. Now, let's go to the other line. Okay, so we're going to do another line here. And if I let y be 0, x would be 6. So that'd be right here. If I let x be 0, y would be negative 3. Perfect. Now, see how it took this shade away? Now, that may be the answer. The answer is one of these two right here. It could be this one, but it could be the one that just took away. But we got to check and make sure. So, try my test point for that one. So if I put 0, 0 in, 0 minus 0 is 0. Is that greater than 6? No, it's not. So this side here can't be shaded because it's not true for that line. It's got to be the one they took off. So let's just grab it and move it down here. There you go. Fantastic.
Yeah, baby, nailed it.
Ha! Nailed it, man. I nailed it. Okay. I'm having too much fun here by myself making this video. All right, we're going to graph this one. All right, so the top one, y is less than x squared. All right, that's a parabola. So we're going to click parabola, and there's no stretching and there's no shifting. So the vertex is at 0, 0 right here. And there's no multiplier in front of the x squared, which means when I go over 1, I go up 1. There you go. And it's dotted, so I need to make this dotted. So let's do that. There we go. Because it's a less than, it does not have equal to line. Now, do I shade inside the parabola or outside the parabola? So let's do this. We can't try 0, 0 because it's on the parabola. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try 0, 1. It's inside the parabola. So I'm going to put 0 for x. I'm going to put 1 in for y. Okay? All right, so when I do that, when I put 0 in for x and put 1 in for y, I get this. So 1 is less than 0. Oh no, that ain't right. That's not right, no. So it's not shaded inside because my test pointed it was inside. It's got to be shaded outside. So we're going to shade this out here outside. Okay. Now the other one's a line. All right, so if I let y be 0, 3x is 6, x would be 2. So let's click a line here. Okay, now I've got a 2 right there. If I let y be 0, if I let x be 0, negative 2y is 6, so that means y would be negative 3. So that's going to be right there. And it should be dotted. Okay. Now, it took my shading away. Remember now, it was shaded outside of that. So now it took the whole thing away. Is it on this side of the line, shaded outside the parabola, or is it down here? Okay, so if I try my test point, 0, 0, 0 plus 0 is less than 6, that's true. So looks like my shading would be right here on this side of that line and outside the parabola. That's what it looks like. I hope I explained that. Oh man, what do I do here, man? Well, flip. Okay, I got, if I try 0, 1, 1 is less than 0, so it's shaded outside the parabola. And so when I let y be 0, x would be 2. That's what I got there. When I let x be 0, y is negative 3. And if I try 0, 0, which is on this side of the line, 0 is less than 6. That's right. So it's shaded on that side of that line. Wait a minute, what's this right here? I got a shade right here. I think maybe I need to take that off. That might be what my problem is. Delete that one. There you go. That was probably my problem. Well, crap fire, man. My my thing timed out. Well, ain't that flipping silly. I think I got it right now. And I don't know if I can go to the next problem. I think we've got issues here. So it looks like the next problem here, I'm not going to be able to do it on the computer. That was 21. Here's 22. I can do it on paper. Here's 22. So if I let y be 0, x would be 4. If I let x be 0, y would be 4. And it's a solid line that goes like this. So let's draw it right there. There's the line. And if I do my 0, 0 test point, 0 plus 0 is less than 4. This side is shaded. Okay? Now if I do this one, this is a parabola. It goes down 3. So negative 3 right here would be my vertex, and then this is going to be a parabola going up like this. So my parabola will look like this. And I try my 0, 0 for it. 0, 0 is inside the parabola. So if I try 0 for y and 0 for x, I get 0 is greater than or equal to negative 3, which is true. So it's shaded inside this, and it's below it. So here's what's shaded right here. And here's a picture of it, which is, this is shaded in there. It looks like we did it good. Hey, man.
Oh, nailed it.
Nailed it. All right, let's go back now to our papers. We're on 23. Okay. We've got this objective function right here, and we've got this constraint region graphed. We want to find the maximum value, we want to find the minimum value. So we just need to plug these in for x and y. So if I plug 1 in for x and 0 for y right here, I'm going to have 5 plus 0, which is 5. That might be my minimum. If I plug 9 in for x and 9 in for y, 5 times 9 plus 3 times 9 is 72. If I plug 9 in for x and then 10 for y, I've got 45 plus 30, which is 75. If I plug 1 in for x and then 11 for y, I got 5 plus 33, which is 38. So here's my maximum value right there, 75 at 0.910. The minimum would be 5 at 0.10. And there you go, man. We got it right there. How about that, huh?
Nailed it.
24. An agency wants to ship food and clothing to hurricane victims in Louisiana. Commercial carriers, I'm already an hour and 13 minutes. Commercial carriers has volunteered to transport the packages provided they fit in the available cargo space. Each 20, all right, let's do this. The food is a 20 cubic foot box. It's 40 pounds. And then it says each clothing is 30 cubic feet and it's 10 pounds. Okay, now this is an L right here. Let me write that, a capital L, so you don't think it's a 1. Okay. Total weight cannot exceed 16,000 pounds. Total volume cannot, I mean, if you put too much weight on this, the boat could sink. And you got so much space, so, you know, you can't go over the space. And then right here, each carton of food feeds 13 people, while each carton of clothing helps 8 people. Okay? So that means my objective function, I'll write right here, z equals 13 times the food plus 8 times the clothing. This is my objective function here. So we'll just use F for food and C for clothing. But we've got these constraints right here. What our limits are on the ship. How much weight we can have and how much volume we can have. So like if I look at the volume, 20 times F plus 30 times C has to be less than or equal to 18,000. Because we have 18, it says we have a limit of 18,000 cubic feet. And then if I look at my pounds, I can't be overweight. So 40 times F plus 10 times C has to be less than or equal to 16,000 pounds. And there's my two equations for my constraints. And I need to graph those and figure out my constraint region like we had here in this previous problem. I need my constraint region. All right, so that means I'm going to graph this right here. All right, so in this top equation, if I let this be 0, 20F equals 18,000, so that means that's 900. So that'd be like right here, 900, 0. Okay, if I let F be 0, 30C equals 18,000, so that means 600. So that'd be like right here, 0, 600. Uh-oh, okay, there it is. And this bottom one, if I let C be 0, 40F would equal 16,000, which means F would be 400. So that's 400 and 0. Oh, I didn't connect these two. And then if I let F be 0 here, 10C would equal 16,000, which means C would be 1,600. So that's right here. And that's these two. And so here's my constraint region right there. And I know this corner point 0, 0. This one I know, but this one here I don't know, and I got to find it. Which means I need to solve this system of equations right here. So I think what would be easier is if I just do 2 times this, that would equal 40, and they'll eliminate. So that's what I'm going to do here. 2 times 20F is 40F. 2 times 30C is 60C. 2 times 18,000, I'm just going to put equals because I'm solving it. And then I can write this other one down. Now, if I subtract these, 40 minus 40 eliminates. 60 minus 10 is 50C. 36,000 minus 16,000 is 20,000. And then divide by 50 on both sides. And that's going to be 400. Okay, so C would be 400. Now what would F be? All right, so if I just put 400 in for C right there, 40F plus 24, 240,000. Right? No, I added too many zeros. 3, yeah. I was looking at this, and I thought that was a 0, but that's okay. So a minus 24,000. So 40F equals 12,000. Divided by 40. That's going to be 300. All right, so there's my points. Okay, so I plug these in. I think the max is going to be this one. And that's what it says here. 300, 400. And if I put 300 in, 13 times 300 would be 3,900, plus 8 times 400 is 3,200, and that's going to be 7,100, which is what it says right there. So there's our answer. Okay. All right, here's another one. Theo, who is dieting, requires 2 food supplements, 1 and 2. He can get these supplements from 2 different products. A and B is shown in the table. Theo's physician has recommended that he include at least 11 grams of each supplement in his daily diet. If product A costs 21 cents per serving and product B costs 12 cents per serving, how can he satisfy this requirement most economically? So that means 0.21 times A plus 0.12 times B equals Z. This is my objective function. I want that to be as low as possible. All right. So it looks like I can get supplement 1 from product A and product B here. So that means 3A plus 2B has to be greater than or equal to this 11, is what the doctor says. And if I do 2A plus 4B, that has to be greater than or equal to 11, according to what the doctor says. So there's my system of equations. Okay, and so I'm going to graph this, get my constraint region for those. So if I let B be 0, A is 11 thirds, so like this be right here, 11/3, 0. If I let A be 0, B would be 11/2. So that's 0, 11/2. And there that connects. On the bottom one, if I let B be 0, then 11 divided by 2 would be 11/2, which would be like right here. And if I let A be 0, that's going to be 11/4, which is right here. You can just change the decimals if you want to. Okay, so there's actually my constraint region is all this up here, because see, I want it to be the lowest. So I got this corner point, I got this corner point, I need this one right here, which means I need to solve that system. Okay, so to solve that system, looks like I just need to multiply that by 2, so it'd be 4. So multiply all this by 2. 2 times 3a is 6a, 2 times 2b is 4b, 2 times 11 is 22, and then I got this bottom one here. So I'll just subtract these. 6 minus 2 is 4a, 4 minus 4 is eliminates, 22 minus 11 is 11, so divide by 4. There's what a is, 11 over 4. And then b, I just plug 11 over 4 in for a, so I'll do right here. 2 times 11 over 4 would be 11 over 2. Plus 4b equals 11 right here. So I minus 11 over 2. That means 4b equals 11 over 2. 11 minus 11 over 2 is 11 over 2, and then divide by 4. I'm kind of going fast because it's already an hour and 20 minutes. That's 11 over 8. And I think, what do I do with my graph? This is 11 over 4, 11 over 8. And I think this would be my answer right there. And you can see right there it is. So I nailed it. I nailed it. All right, 26. All right. Oh, we got some subtraction on a matrices. So I need to figure out what W, X, Y, and Z is. So like right here, if I do 7 minus 4, that's 3. So right there, W is 3. You see it right here. And if I do 5 minus 7, that's negative 2. So X is negative 2 right there. 6 minus 9, Y is negative 3. 14 minus 9 is 5. Okay. Perform this addition. So this matrix is going to look like this. 0 plus negative 2 is negative 2. Negative 7 plus negative 3 is 10, negative 10. 5 plus 8 is 13. And negative 6 plus negative 9 is negative 15. And look there, man. We got it.
Bro, you nailed it.
All right. 28, we're adding these. All right, so negative 1 plus 7 is 6. Negative 2 plus 1 is negative 1. Negative 6 plus 0 is negative 6. 1 plus negative 6 is negative 5. 4 plus 2 is 6. And then 3 plus negative 6 is negative 3. And look at there, man. We got it.
Knock, knock. Who's there? Nailed it!
Add this one. That's not possible. We can't add these. They're not the same dimensions. So yeah, see, it's not defined. They're not the same dimensions. All right, on this one, we got to do B minus A. Now, I'll tell you what, let me write A over here. All right, so here's B minus A. I'd like to have them in the right order when I do this. So negative 2 minus negative 4 would be 2. Negative 2 minus 1 is negative 3. 6 minus 2 is 4. And then 4 minus 0 is 4. Look there. We got it.
Dude, you just nailed it.
I nailed it, man. Man, we're on 31. We're getting close to the end. All right, write the product here. All right, when we do this now, it's RC cola. You got to do the rows in the first one. So my rows over here times my column there. Okay. Now this is a 2 by 2. This right down here. This is a 2 by 2 here. This has 2 rows and 1 column. So the middle numbers match, which means you can do this. And the outer one's a 2 by 1. is what we're going to end up with. Okay, so when I do my row here times this column, -6 times -4 is 24. 3, right over here, 24. 3 plus -3 times -7 is -21, and I add those, I get 3. Now I go to the next row. 7 times -4 is -28. 8 times -7 is -56. I add those. 14 minus -84. And there you go, man. We got it, man. How about that?
Oh, nailed it!
Nailed it! All right. On this one, we're multiplying. So this has 2 rows and 1, 2, 3 columns. This has 3 rows and 1 column. So that middle numbers match. We can do this. We're going to end up with a 2x1 matrix. Okay. So it means I got to take this row times this column. So 3 times -2 is -6. -2 times 4 is -8. 1 times 2 is 2. I add these, which is -12. Now I go to the next row. I'm going to do this row times a column. So 5 times -2 is -10. 0 times 4 is 0. 3 times 2 is 6. And I add these, I get -4. And look here, man.
It has been nailed.
It has been nailed by me. 33. Okay, we got a 2x2 here. Okay, oh man, this is not possible. Look here, it says BA, which means it's reversed. Okay, so let me write it down reversed, because see, B being first, this guy has to be first. Times this guy here. Okay, now be careful about one like this. See, the way it was, that's a 2x2. This is a 3x2, and you can't do it that way. You can't do A times B, but it doesn't want A times B. It wants B times A, which is different. It's backwards like this. So now this is a 3x2. This is a 2x2, and the middle numbers match. You can do this, and you're going to end up with a 3x2. So you end up with one like that. Okay, so it means I got to do my row here times this column. So 5 times 2 is 10, 2 times 2 is 4, 10 plus 4 is 14. Then I go to this column. 5 times -4 is -20, 2 times 2 is 4, -20 plus 4 is -16. Okay, and we're done with that row. Now we go to this row. And I go back to this column. 0 times 2 is 0, -4 times 2 is -8, 0 plus -8 is -8. Okay, go to this column. 0 times -4 is 0, -4 times 2 is -8, 0 plus -8 is -8 again. Okay, and now I go to the bottom row. Start back at this column. 2 times 2 is 4, 5 times 2 is 10, 4 plus 10, 14. Then go to this column here for this last time. 2 times -4 is -8, 5 times 2 is 10, -8 plus 10 is 2. Okay, let's see what we got here. Whoa.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. Are we getting close to the end? 34 here. Okay, yummy yogurt. Boy, this sounds good. Sells 3 types of yogurt. Non-fat, regular, and super creamy at all 3 locations. Location 1 sells 60 gallons of non-fat, 80 or 70 gallons of regular, and 30 gallons of super creamy each day. Location 2 sells 10 gallons of non-fat, and location 3 sells 50 gallons of non-fat each day. Dairy sales of regular yogurt are 90 gallons at location 2 and 100 gallons at location 3. At location 2, 40 gallons of super creamy are sold each day and 50 gallons of super creamy are sold each day at location 3. Okay. All right, so we've got non-fat. I'm going to put non-fat, regular, and super creamy. Okay. So it looks like at location 1, we're going to go location 1 here. Location 1 sells 60 gallons of non-fat, 70 gallons of regular, 30 gallons of super creamy. Location 2 sells 10 gallons of non-fat, so this is location 2. Location 3 sells 50 gallons of non-fat, so this is 50. Daily sales of regular yogurt are 90 gallons at location 2 and 100 gallons at location 3. At location 2, 40 gallons of super creamy are sold each day, and 50 gallons of super creamy is sold each day in location. So here's my matrix right there. So it says write a 3x3 matrix, and we just did that right here. Okay, so looks like I'm just checking my answers with here. So it looks like according to the answers we're right. Okay. All right, it says the incomes per gallon for non-fat, regular, and super creamy are 13, 11, and 15 respectively. So write a 1x3 or a 3x1 matrix displaying the outcomes. I think we need to do a 1x3 because I can see us multiplying them. And if I have a 1x3, I'll do this row times that column. And so what that means is if I have 13, 11, and 15, when I do my multiplying, the non-fat 60 times the non-fat price, the regular 70 times the regular price, and the super creamy 30 times the super creamy price. So we need a column matrix like that. And so now part C says find a matrix product that gives the daily income of each. All right, so that means I'm going to multiply these. So see, I knew I was going to do that. I just had that feeling. All right, so it means I'm going to have to use the calculator here. I'm going to do 60 times this, 70 times that, 30 times this. So 60, let's get the calculator on. 60 times 13 plus 70 times 11 plus 30 times 15, and that's 2,000. Now, at location 2, I'm going to do 10 times this, 90 times that, 40 times that. So 10 times 13 plus 90 times 11 plus 40 times 15, and that's 1720. And then this row times that column, so 50 times 13 plus 100 times 11 plus 50 times 15. That's 2,500. All right, let's check and see if our numbers are right on that. Boom, got them right there. See them? That's what we got. And the last part says you add them all up. So it's going to be 20, 12, 1, 3, 4, 5, 62, 20. And let's see, where's the answer for that? Right there. Look at that, man.
Yeah, baby, nailed it.
I nailed it, man. All right, 35. We're getting close. 35. What's the matrix equation form for the following system? All right, when you do a matrix equation, you're going to have your coefficients for the variables. So I got a 4 and a 5, a -2 and a -1. I'm sorry, not a -2. There you go. And then I'm going to have my x, y variables. And then I'm going to have my answers over here, 18 and 12. And there's my matrix equation right there. That was too easy. I'm not going to do a nailed it on that one. All right, this says decide if these two matrices here are inverses. Okay, now when you multiply these, you're supposed to get this identity like this right here. So if I multiply them and I get this, they're inverses. But if I don't get that, then they're not. So I'm going to do this row times this column. So 21 and -20 is 1. Then I'm going to go this column. 3 times 4 is 12. -4 times 3 is -12. 12 plus -12 is 0. All right, let's go down this row. We're done with that one. Now, -5 times 7 and 7 times 5. -35 and 35 is 0. Hey, we're in good shape so far. Now this last column. -5 times 4 is -20. 7 times 3 is 21. -20 and 21 is 1. And look at there, I got the inverse, which means this is a big fat yes. These are inverses.
Oh, nailed it.
2 more problems left. 37. Decide whether or not the given matrices are inverses of each other. Are these inverses? All right, so we're going to do the rows times columns just like we did, and I'm supposed to get this. If I get this, they're inverses. If I don't get this, they're not. So let's do this row times this column. So 1 times 4 is 4. Negative 7 times 3 is negative 21. 4 plus negative, that's negative 17. 4, negative 20. No, man, they're not inverses. The first number didn't even work out. So they're not inverses. All right, last one here, we want to find the inverse of this. Okay, now, this is a little bit tedious thing here. But I got 2, 3, 2, 1, 4, 4, 1, 3, 5. And over here I'm going to put the identity matrix. So this is the augmented matrix here. And basically what I want to do is I want to do the row operations like we did earlier, and I want to get this over here. And then when I get this over here, the inverse will be over there. Okay. All right, so first thing is we need a 1 up here. I'll tell you what we can do on this first column now. I haven't told you this maybe, but I can just switch them, and I'm just going to put this row on the top. Since it's got a 1. Okay. And so I got my 1 in there just by putting that one in. But now I can't do it on these other columns. I can only do it on this first one. Now, this one here is going to have to be the next row since I took that one up there. And that needs to be a 0 right here. That's a 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 2 times this row, and then I'll subtract them. So 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 0 is 0. And now I'm going to subtract these two right here. So 2 minus 2 is 0. 3 minus 8 is negative 5. 2 minus 8 is negative 6. 1 minus 0 is 1. 0 minus 2 is negative 2. And 0 minus 0 is 0. And there you go. Got me a 0 here like I'm supposed to. Now I've got to have a 0 here too. Right now it's currently a 1. Wow, well that's cool. All I do here, this row and this row right here, I'm going to subtract them because 1 minus 1 would give me a 0. So that's what I'm going to do here. So 1 minus 1 is 0. 3 minus 4 is negative 1. 5 minus 4 is positive 1. 0 minus 0 is 0. 0 minus 1 is negative 1. 1 minus 0 is 1. And there you go. My first column is done. Okay. So now we got to go to the next one. In the next column, I got to get my 1 in place first. Now I can't do any switching. See, this is a negative 1 down here. I can't. Well, technically, I could switch those two. But I'm going to do it this way, so because you may not be able to do this on your test. I'm going to have to divide all these by negative 5. I'm going to divide by negative 5. So 0 divided by negative 5 is still 0. Negative 5 divided by negative 5 is 1. Negative 6 divided by negative 5 is 6/5. 1 divided by negative 5 is negative 1/5. Negative 2 divided by negative 5 is 2/5. And then 0 divided by negative 5 is 0. And there you go, I got my 1 in here. Okay, look here, that's supposed to be a 0. So if I just add these two, negative 1 plus 1 will be a 0 down here. So I'm going to take these two and add them. So 0 plus 0 is 0. Negative 1 plus 1 is 0. 1 plus 6/5 is 11/5. 0 plus negative 1/5 is negative 1/5. Negative 1 plus 2/5 is negative 3/5. And 1 plus 0 is 1. And I got my 0 in there. Now up in the top of here, it's a 4. So I need that to be a 0. So what I'll do is I'm going to take this one here times 4. I'm going to go right in the middle. 4 times 0 is 0. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 6/5 is 24/5. 4 times negative 1/5 is negative 4/5. 4 times 2/5 is 8/5. 4 times 0 is 0. And then I'm going to take these two right here and add them. So 1 plus 0 is 1. 4, oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to subtract them. Sorry. 1 minus 0 is 1. 4 minus 4 is 0. 4 minus 24 fifths is, let's see here, negative 4 fifths. And then 0 minus 4 fifths, negative 4 fifths would be positive 4 fifths. And then 1 minus 8 fifths would be negative 3 fifths. And then 0 minus 0, 0. Okay, I kind of got too big on the purple, and so that's making my green. But my first two columns are done. Now I got to go to this last column and do this one more time. So let's leave myself a little bit more room this time. Okay. So this needs to be a 1 right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide everything by 11 fifths. Divide by 11 fifths. So 0 divided by 11 fifths is 0. 0 divided by 11 fifths is 0. You just use your calculator if you need to. 11 fifths divided by 11 fifths is 1. Negative 1 fifth divided by negative 11 fifths is going to be negative 1 over 11. Negative 3 fifths divided by negative 11, or divided by 11 fifths is going to be negative 3 over 11. And then 1 divided by 11 fifths is going to be 5 over 11. There you go. There's my first row. Okay, I think I'm right. Now I'm just going to go straight to this next row. This right here needs to be a 0. It's a 6 fifths. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply this one by 6 fifths, because 6 fifths times 1 would be 6 fifths, and I'll subtract them. Okay, I'm going to write that here at the bottom. 6 fifths times 0 is 0. 6 fifths times 0 is 0. 6 fifths times 1 is 6 fifths. 6 fifths times negative 1/11th is negative 6 over 55. 6 fifths times negative 3 over 11 is negative 18 over 55. 6 fifths times 5/11ths is 6/11ths. Now what I'm going to do here, I'm going to take these two right here and I'm going to add them up. Alright, so 0 plus 0 is 0. 1 plus 0 is 1. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm subtracting them. I forgot. I'm subtracting them. So let me do this again. 0 minus 0 is 0. 1 minus 0 is 1. 6 fifths minus 6 fifths is 0. So negative 1 fifth minus 6 55ths. All right, let me do this on the calculator here. Negative 1 fifth minus negative 6 over 55, and that's negative 1/11th. And then 2 fifths minus negative 18 over 55, so 2 fifths that's 8 over 11. That's 8. And then 0 minus 6/11ths is negative 6/11ths. Okay, so P can see. Hey, I'm perfect so far. And I got to do this top row, which in this top row here, that's a negative 4 fifths. You see that? So I need to multiply this by 4 fifths. So I'm going to do 4 fifths this time, times that row. I'm going to write it in the middle here. So 4 fifths times 0 is 0. 4 fifths times 0 is 0. 4 fifths times 1 is 4 fifths. 4 fifths times negative 1 over 11 is negative 4 over 55. 4 fifths times negative 3 over 11 is negative 12 over 55. And then 4 fifths times 5/11ths is 4 over 11. And now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take these two right here and I'm going to subtract them. So 1 minus 0 is 1. 0 minus 0 is 0. Negative 4 fifths. Okay, I'm adding them. I'm supposed to be adding them. So 1 plus 0 is 1. 0 plus 0 is 0 plus 0 is 0. Negative 4 fifths plus 4 fifths is 0. I'm adding them. So 4 fifths plus negative 4 55ths is 8 over 11. And then negative 3 fifths plus negative 12 55ths. That's negative 9 over 11. And then 0 plus 4/11ths is 4/11ths. And there you go. This right here should be numbers right there. And look at her. See all this? You know what that means? It means.
Nailed it!
Alright, so I think we're done, man. This is our test review, and man, I'm telling you what, 1 hour and 45 minutes. I can't believe it. But hopefully you didn't have to watch the whole thing. You skip over parts and just go to the parts you need help with. But if you need any help, text me. I'll do all I can for you. Have a good rest of the day.